Sometimes the loudest cries are the ones that make no sound. There's a kind of grief that lives deep inside our hearts, a quiet sorrow that words cannot fully express. It is a pain that sits with us in the silent moments of the day and stays with us through the long, dark nights. This unspoken grief is not a sign of weakness. It is a powerful language all its own. It speaks of a love so deep that its absence leaves a space nothing else can fill. In the Bible, we find not just stories of kings, but of ordinary people whose quiet faith changed the world. One of the most moving is Rizpah, a mother whose silent vigil became a sermon of devotion and a protest of love. Her story reminds us that even when we feel powerless, our love and grief can become a catalyst for justice, healing, and profound change. Rizpah was a mother, one of King Saul's concubines, living in a world where women's voices were rarely heard and their pain often overlooked. Yet her love for her children was fierce and unwavering, a force that defined her very existence. She cherished her two sons, Armoni and Mephibosheth, with a devotion that shaped every moment of her life. To Rizpah, they were not just sons, they were her hope, her future, and the light of her days. But then disaster struck. A relentless famine swept across Israel, leaving the land parched and the people desperate. King David, seeking answers, turned to God and discovered the famine was a consequence of Saul's past violence against the Gibeonites, a sin that cast a long, dark shadow over the nation. To bring an end to the suffering, the Gibeonites demanded a terrible price: the lives of 7 male descendants of Saul. It was a demand rooted in ancient justice, but it would bring new agony to innocent families. Rizpah's world collapsed when her sons were chosen among the 7. They were executed, their bodies left exposed on a barren hillside, denied the dignity of burial. Her heart was shattered, her beloved sons sacrificed for a crime they did not commit, victims of a fate they could never have imagined. Their bodies were left to the elements, denied a proper burial, a final, cruel act meant to disgrace Saul's house and erase their memory from the land. But to Rizpah, these were not symbols of a fallen dynasty. They were her children, her flesh and blood, the ones she had nurtured and loved. In the depths of her grief, Rizpah faced an impossible choice: to retreat into silent mourning, or to rise and act out of love even when hope seemed lost. She chose courage. Rizpah refused to let her sons be forgotten or dishonored, even as the world turned away. If she could not save their lives, she would guard their dignity in death, standing vigil over their bodies day and night, shielding them from scavengers and shame. This act of devotion, born from unimaginable pain, would set in motion a chain of events that would ripple through the nation and touch the hearts of many. Rizpah's love was stronger than despair, her courage a beacon in the darkness. The actions she took in the face of tragedy would echo through history, a testament to a mother's enduring love and the power of one woman's stand against injustice. The Bible tells us Rizpah took sackcloth and spread it for herself on the rock, preparing a place of mourning and steadfastness in the harsh wilderness. She did not choose comfort or shelter, but instead she chose to remain close to her sons, even in their death, refusing to abandon them to the elements or to the cruelty of fate. From the beginning of harvest until the rains poured down from the heavens, Rizpah remained. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. As the world around her changed, fields ripened, storms gathered, and the land shifted from drought to rain. Through it all she stayed, unmoved by the passing of time. She did not allow the birds by day or beasts by night to touch her sons. Every morning she rose with the sun, ready to defend them, her eyes scanning the horizon for any threat. At night she kept watch, listening for the sounds of prowling animals, her heart never at rest. Rizpah went to the hill, made a rough shelter, and stayed day after day, month after month. Her shelter was little more than a covering of sackcloth, but it was enough for her purpose: to remain present, to bear witness, and to honor her sons. Under the scorching sun and through chilling nights, she kept her lonely watch. The heat of the day beat down on her, and the cold of the night crept into her bones, but she endured it all, driven by a mother's love that would not yield. She was a solitary figure, a mother guarding her children even in death. Her presence on that barren hill was a silent cry against the injustice that had been done, a refusal to let her sons be forgotten or dishonored. Her presence was a shield, her love their only guardian. In a world that had turned its back, Rizpah stood as the last line of defense, her devotion unbroken by time or suffering. She chased away vultures and wild animals, refusing to let their bodies be desecrated. Each day brought new threats, but she met them all with courage, her hands and voice driving away anything that dared approach. Her grief was not passive, it was a physical, demanding act of love. She moved constantly, her body weary but her spirit unbroken, her sorrow expressed in every gesture, every shout, every sleepless night. She did not speak or protest with words, her presence was her protest. In her silence she spoke volumes. Her refusal to leave was a challenge to the injustice that had taken her sons. For months this was her life, enduring, protecting, loving. Through wind and rain, through hunger and exhaustion, she remained, her resolve as unyielding as the rocks beneath her feet. Her silent, unwavering vigil was a testament to a love that death could not destroy. Night after night, beneath the stars, she kept her watch, her heart full of memories and hope for justice. Rizpah's endurance declared to the world that her sons mattered. Her vigil was a message to all who passed by. These lives were precious, and their story would not end in silence or shame. Her loyalty and love could not be broken by injustice. No decree, no hardship, no cruelty could force her to abandon her children or her cause. Her vigil became a symbol of devotion and defiance, a mother's love standing firm against the world, a legacy of courage that would echo through the ages. Rizpah's actions were rooted in a love every parent understands. Her vigil was about honoring her son's memory and humanity in a world that discarded them. The sackcloth on the rock became a sanctuary of love, a sacred space for mourning with dignity. Her presence was a silent sermon on the value of every life. She did not seek comfort for herself, but gave comfort and honor to her sons. Her faithfulness planted a seed of compassion that would soon grow in the heart of a king. Rizpah's love was her shield, her grief her fuel. She lived out the truth that love is an action, a commitment to stand by those we love, even in death. Her simple act became a throne of maternal love and a symbol of righteous protest. Rizpah's story shows that integrity and loyalty are defined by our choices in our hardest moments. For months, Rizpah's silent protest continued on that lonely hill. News of her devotion spread, eventually reaching King David. The king, who had authorized the executions, was confronted with the human cost of his decision. Rizpah's silent vigil spoke to his heart in a way no words could. Her endurance shamed the injustice of leaving the bodies unburied. Moved by her faithfulness, David acted. He ordered the bones of Rizpah's sons and the others to be gathered for proper burial. He also brought back the remains of Saul and Jonathan, giving them all an honorable resting place. Rizpah's quiet act of love led to a national act of healing and reconciliation. She did not ask for this. Her love simply moved a king's heart and changed a nation's course. Her story shows that one person's quiet faithfulness can ripple outward, bringing healing and honor. Rizpah's grief became a catalyst for justice. Rizpah's story is a lesson in the power of presence. She could not bring her sons back, but she could be with them in their final moments. Her presence declared they were not alone or forgotten. Sometimes the greatest gift we can give is our quiet, unwavering presence. There is sacredness in sitting with someone in pain, sharing silence, and simply being there. Rizpah's vigil embodied this principle. Her presence was a silent promise. I am here with you. This is true compassion. Her presence became a form of advocacy, forcing others to confront injustice. Our quiet presence can be advocacy too. Standing with the hurting, refusing to look away, it says that this matters, this person matters. Rizpah shows we don't need a platform to make a difference, just a compassionate heart. Presence can change everything. Psalm 56:8 says, "You have kept count of my tossings, put my tears in your bottle." Our sorrow is not invisible to God. Every tear is seen and remembered. Rizpah's tears, shed on that lonely hill, were not wasted. Her grief was a prayer, a silent cry that reached the heavens. Sometimes we don't have words to pray. Our tears become our prayers. The Spirit intercedes for us with groanings too deep for words. Rizpah's silent vigil was a powerful plea before God. She did not rush her grief or hide it. She honored her sons by mourning fully. Her story gives us permission to mourn and let our tears flow. Through it all, God can redeem our pain and use it for a greater purpose. Rizpah's story shows how deep sorrow can become incredible strength. Her grief mobilized her. She channeled her love into a powerful act of devotion. Even in darkness, we can act, love, and make a difference. Her strength was quiet and resilient, the strength of endurance. We can honor those we've lost by living out their love, serving others, and standing for what's right. This gives our pain purpose and keeps their love alive through us. When we offer our broken hearts to God, He gives us strength beyond our own. Rizpah's faithful love brought about results she never imagined. Rizpah's story, though born of deep tragedy and loss, leaves behind a legacy that continues to inspire hope and faith across generations. Her journey is not just a tale of sorrow, but a powerful reminder that even in the darkest moments, light can break through. She stands as a testament to the enduring power of a mother's love, a love that refuses to be silenced by injustice or forgotten by time. Rizpah's quiet faithfulness, her unwavering devotion, and her willingness to endure hardship for the sake of her children show us the profound impact of steadfast love. Her vigil was not just an act of mourning, but an act of faith, a belief that her son's dignity was worth fighting for, even when the world had turned away. Through sleepless nights and lonely days, she kept watch, driven by hope that justice and compassion would prevail. Rizpah's legacy encourages us to face our own struggles with courage, to persist even when our efforts seem unseen or unappreciated. Her story reminds us that our quiet acts of love, our moments of faithfulness, are always seen by God and can ripple outward in ways we may never expect. We are called to be faithful, to do what is right and loving, not necessarily to be successful in the world's eyes. Sometimes the most meaningful changes begin with small, unseen acts of devotion. The national change that followed Rizpah's vigil was an unexpected result of her simple, faithful love. Her actions moved the hearts of leaders and brought about healing for an entire nation, showing us that one person's faithfulness can spark transformation far beyond what they could imagine. After the bones were finally and respectfully buried, the famine that had gripped the land ended and a time of healing and restoration began. Her perseverance brought closure and peace not only to her family, but to her people. Rizpah's mourning led to national renewal, a vivid picture of how God can weave our pain, our endurance, and our hope into His greater story of redemption and restoration. Let us carry her story with us as a source of comfort in our grief, strength in our trials, and hope for the future. Her example reminds us that love and faith can shine brightest in the darkest times. Let us remember the promise that those who mourn will be comforted, and that no act of love is ever wasted in God's eyes. Like Rizpah, let us believe that faithful love, no matter how quiet or unseen, can truly change the world for the better.